Hi, my name is Raul Ojamaa, and this is...
Hi, my name is KARL KILLING.
I'm a producer, guitarist, and musician. Been active musician for 10 years or so, and today me and Karl, we have a great opportunity to show you how we work on our music with our favorite DAW, Live 11, and we're going to go through my creative process, how I use the Ableton's effects, how I use the session view for live setting, and also for creating ideas before going to the arrangement view. Also, we're working with the Push 2, which is a great tool for live setup and gives me opportunities to loop guitar and do other kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, that's basically it. And maybe a bit about you too, Karl.
Yes, I'm an artist and a producer as well. And today I'm just gonna help Raul to get this kind of webinar going smoother. So I'm gonna ask Raul some questions throughout the process through the webinar.
Yeah, so that's it. Let's make music.
Yep.
Okay, so to start things off, I'm just gonna perform you the track Moonstruck, which is my debut single, released in January, and I'm just gonna show you how I loop the guitar and mess around with the arrangement a bit, and also how to go from one track to another really easily in the session view.
but there is none.
So this for me was really cool because I've never used push 2 in like a session type of view. I always like just chop like vocals or stuff like that. I normally work in arrangement view, so it's really cool to see that push 2 really can like set, like, how to say, unset the boundaries in a live way. So I like throughout your session I can see how you can modify your like views and stuff like that, but like how did you come up with the idea of like literally using this for your live session? What inspired you?
Actually, I got the push 2 like many years ago. It's like, I don't know, 5 or something. And I initially bought it for just drum padding and stuff. But as I got more involved in my solo project now, which is basically me with electronics, backing track and guitar, I had this on my table, and I hadn't learned it as deeply as I could have. And I found out watching some tutorials and stuff how people play with push 2 that it's like really capable of doing all kinds of different stuff. And so it's like with all the gear you have, it's you can have like a million synths, but maybe it's better just to know one and really go and learn it. So with push 2, for me at the moment, it's the same thing. I'm just finding out the ways that I would feel good performing live. And for me, playing guitar is a really important thing. I'm not from a DJ background, I'm from indie bands and stuff like that. So it's like to have the freedom with song structures, with the sounds, to maybe loop some part more. and stuff like that, to play something, like the important parts in the track, just to play them, to have some live feel. That's really important to me. And Push having like this kind of capability of spreading your tracks out, like in session view, gives you that freedom. Yeah.
For me, like Push 2 was a thing, like how to say, a weapon in disguise, because at first I was just like, I learned the basics of it, but now as I can see how like capable it is to do stuff really professionally as well, like in live sessions,
Yeah.
it's like really cool. And has it like inspired you in a creative process as well?
Actually, yes. When I started rehearsing for this like live setting, I found out having chopped down my song like stems to the scenes here. I found out like I can really improvise with my tracks. So this is something, again, it's individual, but like in the arrangement view, that's not so easy for me, because I'm used to, like I said, I'm from band background, so it's like really easy. You can just say, oh, stop the drums there, and like the drummer stops. So with the Push, I really have this kind of flexibility, just to jam out different arrangements, just mute stuff, add some effects, and move the like the clips around in the session, so you can get these like happy accidents, which I think like in the music it's the most fun part. It's
Yes,
like when
I
you do
agree.
something wrong and then something happens, you're like, wow, like you have the feeling like I wouldn't think of it myself, but you did it, so you're really happy. So that's in January when I began practicing the Moonstruck live set. It was a shorter version of the track, but I really, that was the point when I really studied Push, started to study. And so I remember the one night I was like maybe like 3 in the morning or something. I was just having like jammed around with the song like few hours here, and I remember having that feeling like being in a band. So it was like really exciting. I got like a lot of new ideas, and actually now I haven't gotten a chance to practice it, but like with the next songs, I'm definitely going to do the live takes of my tracks, just to see how the feeling leads you.
Cool.
So yeah.
That's nice. So comparing to arrangement view, what are the like, how to say, the biggest differences in producing? Like, is it like now we have like comping in 11 as well?
Yeah.
But you could have before comped basically in here as well, right? In session view?
Yeah, you can do that. I'm not so familiar with it at the moment, because like in the live setting, I'm usually, when I'm playing, it has to be good from the first note, you don't have the time to do the comping. But I know the MIDI clips, sure, I don't even go there at the moment because I'm clumsy at that editing stuff. But when I'm producing, then I kind of have this workflow at the moment that I'm just jamming out things here, and then just when I need to edit something, I'll do it like really quickly in the Ableton. Oftentimes, for example, I do like we have like short loops here, but like I would say, like there's a 4-bar loop of the main chord. If I'm playing out an idea, and for example I want a stereo guitar track, then I might just record like 3 times the length of this chord, so it's like 12 bars, and then really quickly just duplicate the audio track 2 times, and then go to the clip view and just just pick the position. So you have like a really easy way. The music doesn't stop in the time that you're doing getting the stereo feel for the guitar, for example.
Cool. And I saw you in the lives when you performed your song. I saw that you were knobbing these here, high passes and
Yeah.
low passes, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it was cool to see that you can literally dynamically just like transition with knobs as well, like having them like the filters on it, and like, how to say, it makes the thing a lot more smoother, and it looks cool when you do it at the same time.
Yeah.
And with the like, what are you doing here? Because I didn't like understand that. Like, you had like a phaser, or what? What are these?
This is actually, well, this is an Innovation MIDI mixer. It's actually I lent. It's the second time I lent it from. It's out of stock at the moment in Tallinn at the store, so I had to lend it again from the drum and bass producer Planet. So thanks. And it's actually it's a really easy like MIDI mixer. It maps itself automatically, so it's like you had the volumes, which I don't use too much at the moment. And this like basically sends. So there's so there's like so it's like this.
Yeah.
So I do this. I just do the reverb here.
Yeah.
And you can also like do the muting stuff. You can mute the kick, for example, in the track or something really easily with this. There's like buttons for it, which is actually I just discovered that it might be easier in Ableton push. It's just you push the mute and then push this and then it's muted and this like.
All right, cool.
Oh yeah, it was soloed, so it didn't work.
But now it's
But
muted.
basically, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
cool.
really easy with these two buttons here as well. The thing is, in the beginning, I had like more ideas. I would do like lots of twisting knobs. But the thing is, my strength is like more of guitar playing. So I really use it like a simple tools like the filters and reverbs and delays. And this gives me time to set up the scenes for my like guitar playing and put more emphasis on the guitar performance as well. So it's really simple at the moment.
But did you use Push 2 to produce your drums on this track as well, or what was your work progress with this song?
This was the demo is from 2015 or something,
What?
so I don't
Wow.
remember. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
the guitar and it
Yeah.
was the guitar. I think it was the demo was something like this, without the reverbs, of course. So yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
in 2015, that was ahead of its time, so that was
thanks.
sick. All right,
So I use Push. Well, I've been using more for the live setting at the
Yeah.
moment, but the more I practice with it, the more I feel like I need to use it like more. The first thing, actually, I can say that the first thing I really liked with Push was the drumming, and that was the initial reason why I actually bought it. So we can just, I don't know, have some kind of is there like, okay, just let's search for a hi-hat. Like this, okay. A second. So yeah, the first thing was, let me get solo here, was this. So you can.
that was literally the first thing for me as well.
Yeah,
when I bought it,
that's
'cause
like
I checked the YouTube video, like the first 4 minutes, and you can use the repeat and the drums on it, so you can put it on like a 16th and the 32s and make cool sounds with it. Like that's how I used it normally at the start. So it's cool that we have something in common.
Yeah, that's. I think that's maybe everybody has the same first impression. Like this is so cool. But yeah, the way you can you have like tons of tutorials how to release the sequence stuff, and again with every new version of Live and the update they do it like better and better. So like when I get like a new idea, when I begin to jam, then I usually do it in session view. Just have like really basic beat going and just sequence it here.
Do you have any like new favorite, how to say, when 11 came out, is there something that the session view has gotten that you really like throughout the update?
Yeah, it was actually it was a really interesting feature which I spent my whole yesterday night getting used to. There's like this follow actions now on the scenes, which I think they weren't there before because yeah, they're definitely new. So you can have the scene like a global setting for the scene. So it will, you can choose it to either play it next or whatever you want. First, last, like lots of options. Scene after a designated period of time, which is this action time. So I just basically I had the song structure, so I wrote here the length of the parts I have here. So they're different. And this is like a really good thing because you can, you know, here I don't use it, but you can also, in the transition part, I used it to just play again, just loop it. So there are like some parts you can keep looping, and then you had to manually, of course, push the next one. Before that, I used there was like a Max for Live device, the Isotonics Follow Scene XL. So my project was built with it, that one, and yesterday night I discovered that it has like a really bad glitch now at the moment. So this follow action is like a great thing. Otherwise, let me see. I think there was something more. Of course, you have like lots of new clip editing, like
the layout looks nicer as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You have loads of like cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like tons of stuff. You can like
in arrangement
more details.
In arrangement view, like my favorite and like update is now that you can like the MIDI. You can do like actually. Let's say your song is in A major, so you can just choose the scale and it gives you every single note that you want, like what is in A major.
Oh yeah.
You can easily like, how to say, write in melodies and stuff like that. So, and plus there's like these new plugins, hybrid reverb and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That I haven't dug into yet that much, but I know that they're really cool.
Yeah, the hybrid reverb is like it's really capable. I watched there's like all the stuff is on the Ableton's YouTube channel, so I kind of watched everything of it, and yeah, it's you can put some really weird samples into the the impulse response and have the like maybe you want to attack to the sound, you just put like a hat sound to the impulse response, and then you have like the nice big reverb and like the shimmers and stuffs. Like it sounds really cool.
But for this session, did you do something else with the song, like the original song's arrangement? Did you like modify it, or did you just lay it out like it is?
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah, I did like the intro part, which is this part. I wanted the intro to be like it's easier to do it in the bush. So, or is it? Yeah, it is. There was this intro part in the track as well, but when you do like a studio version of a track, then you know you had to cut the intros and outros quite short usually.
Yes.
And for example, like the outros are one of my favorite parts of the track usually. like producers maybe oftentimes put some cool stuff they couldn't put in the track there.
Exactly,
you know, they have these like Easter eggs there. But like with my live set, I want to do it like smooth, like transitions and experience. So it's not more like just bang, that's a song, it ends like a big bang, another big
Yeah,
bang,
yeah, I
that's the
get
next
you.
song. So I want to give it like the really smooth flow
Mhm.
to the stuff. So I thought like the best way to start the track would be just to have this stuff, and it's even like filtered down, which I can do really easily from here. And yeah, so and then I basically just began looping stuff. So there's the first one. It's a bit loud. So when I loop this one, then I just loop this. And then this. We can solo them. So this is like just harmonics, just ambient stuff. This is just like a jam, like fills, and like the main guitar part, and like together like this. Yeah, and so it loops indefinitely. I just brought the filters up a bit and do that really quickly at the moment. And then I just push the...
So now it goes to the second view, basically.
Yeah.
With pushing here, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, now it goes to the second scene. And basically now we went to the part, basically how the studio version would start. And I think like it's a good like mood setter. I like to have
it's
this
intimate. So it's pretty cool. You can like really, how to say, get the people into the vibe before like the, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Because in live setting you have so much freedom. It's different when you're in like listening on your phone or whatever Spotify, whatever streaming service. When you have like tracks coming like really fast and going, then it's like hard to have like these longer versions. But in live setting, people, if there's like a good mood, then people will like it. They're not thinking like, oh, this should be, like go faster to the chorus.
Exactly.
Maybe it can happen if you don't do anything interesting, of course. But I really like that to calm like people down with the music. And actually, with this part. This part, which I also automated with reverb a bit. I used like the push twos trick that you can duplicate it. I can like put it like somewhere here, like on a whole different scene further along the track. So you could, you can add elements based on your vibe. That you want on this particular day, and improvise around and give like the extra texture to the track. And I find it really nice that with the session view, it's so easy to jam something, record it, and then further along the track, or maybe even it doesn't have to be the same track in the set. Maybe it's just the track that fits with the key. You can bring the element back, so you have like this concept feeling.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like session view is maybe amongst my friends at least pretty underrated, because we never use it to actually like, how to say, create stuff. So it's really cool to see how unique actually live is, because normally we sit in arrangement view that literally looks like a DAW, but at the same time we have something so unique and something else that can literally inspire you to do something like a whole lot of different. It's just like a different creative process.
Yeah.
So I feel like I at least got really inspired by this, because I feel like I should do something in the session view now, because it just gives a different vibe. You can literally build like a song off of scratch and just like loop stuff and like get the like happy accidents happen more often, I think, in this type of a thing. So
absolutely, absolutely. It's like maybe like not having to clip all the time. You just have something that plays. Like in the arrangement view, you have like you have like you know, the waveforms, and you're just kind of maybe thinking more technically. It might happen. So I think the less you see the parameters of the track, waveforms and stuff, the more you think, actually not think, the more you feel the music, and which is why I was really inspired practicing the live set as well with the Push 2. It was like just, I know that like this clip sounds like that, I want to play it, and it's like really easy, and I don't have to, you know, there's like the filter here. I don't have to go with the mouse to just and look visually. Is it okay to put the filter there? I just do it like by hand and don't watch the parameters. I just listen. So
that's really cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that when you were performing the song, you were like automating the filters and stuff like that. But do they actually save into the session as well as you do it?
Yeah, that was one thing that was at first it was quite hard to grasp, but thanks to the online vast knowledge of information about everything, I found a solution. It's like this. Like when I do the live version, I record all the stuff to hear as well, to the arrangement view. And as you can see, like all the automations and stuff, they take record here too. And the thing is, if you record in the session view, you had to make sure in the settings that it doesn't record the automation to the session view too. With some tracks it still does that, but I had to find a workaround for that. It's like something to do with the recorded clips. Anyway, it's like the setting automate or record only the ARM tracks, something like that. So when I start recording, I make sure that I'm in a clean place in the project. Yeah, I usually just add locator, whatever, take 3. So I know that this this take starts from here.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah.
I put the arrangement record button on. So that's the thing. There's like 2 different record buttons in Ableton. You have arrangement record and there's the session record. So then
So you basically need to start your whole like session basically on how to say, a clear page.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it will just over record something you've already done. Then you also have to have this one, session record button on. And then I just play this, put it to pause, take a breather, and if I don't have these tracks here, I'll just arm the first, like I started recording the guitar first, and arm this one for recording as well. So this means now that my project is ready for recording arrangement and recording session info. So I can loop my stuff into the session, but at the same time everything will be recorded in the arrangement that happens here. So yeah, it's a really cool way. You can have these longer automations and like filter things, and they will go into the arrangement, but they will not be in the session view. You know, so you don't have to you know, delete all the automation after every take. It's quite a complicated thing at first. So it
but
needs.
once you get used to it.
Yeah, it needs some preparation, like brain work. So there's a lot of like project logistics about it. and you have to be really, know the things, play the thing through multiple times, and then you'll again notice something like, oh, this didn't record, or this, I don't know, automation and just started repeating itself, so that way like ruin your take. Something that just keeps looping,
Yeah, I get you.
But otherwise, this is like a really good way to do it, and at the same time you can do it with your projects that are not finished. Like I said before, you can bounce it down to like stems, like just have the drums, bass, keys, guitar, vocals, whatever, like having less tracks, so it's like more easy for you to see in the session view, both in Push and in Ableton itself. And you can do this kind of like structures, and if you really like the structure, you can, I don't know, bounce it down again and take it as like an example how to finish the half-finished track you have.
Yeah, cool. So is it like easy to arm stuff? Because I saw that you were just holding a button a bit longer and it was armed already. Right?
Yeah, this is really easy. Oh, sorry about that. The arming goes like, is my mic okay?
Yeah.
Ah, thanks. Just in case. So you just press on the track. You don't even have to press at first. You just press
just
and
hold it a bit. Yeah. Cool.
So and then it's record armed. Yeah, and you also have there's like things in. You really have to. This page is like instrumental in getting your live set working. Of like going back and forth with these settings. So like the record session automation, this is like the really important thing. If you want to have like these live takes, then for me this option that all tracks are session automation recorded, that didn't work, because that means like all the automation will begin looping as well. If you have like a 8-bar loop, for example,
okay.
if you have a song structure that just keeps on going to the next scene, then it's okay, because it doesn't repeat. But if you have a shorter loop, then you want to have like longer automation envelopes. So cool. Then that's the thing you have to remember, that if you have this record session automation in ARM tracks, what you also have to remember is, if you record the track, you've done the recording, you have to push this again to unarm it. So otherwise it will do the looping envelope stuff, which is, for my project, it doesn't work well. So yeah, let me see, is there something? Yeah, I guess everything else is quite basic, but I would advise just going through all of these things, especially in the record warp launch view, so you know why something happens that happens.
Cool. How do you group your tracks? Like, what is your, how to say, like, let's say you group your guitars into a guitar bus, or how do you work with that?
Yeah. In my live setting, I found it the easiest way is to have like visually the things I improvise with and that I play, like the guitars, to have on the left side of the project in the session view. This means that they're always like under my hands. So yeah, I made a guitar group actually, because I want to have like freedom to maybe jam additional guitar parts. In the Push, it's easy. Again, you just press and no, you don't hold. You just push 2 times, and it will open the group or close it. Cool. So when you do stuff here, you can just mess around with these things. Maybe you don't need something that's like more like backtrack your electronic part, then you can just use these buttons, or just page is like goes like whole page to the right. So you can be more in the backtrack territory of stuff. And otherwise, what I have here, drum rack didn't belong in this. This was an example. Then there's the second thing that I like to play live, which is, I think this might be something new in Live 11. Maybe it's not, but it's first time for me to use it anyway. It's having the vocal chops, which is basically two tracks that are in the sessions. They both have like lead hook parts, which are kind of like vocal chops. That's why it's called a vocal chop. So if I go to the note view, there's like some effects, yeah, and you have like, I have like an audio effect track is a different track, so I have to always make a distinction between those two. So this is the, this could be more minimal as well, but
it looks cooler if you
have
go
more
in a
buttons.
row. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's like, this is the hook part, just chopped up. I think it might even be the.
Wait, is this Nep's voice that you
No.
chopped?
Let me think. Yeah, it might just be one like note he jammed, and then I put it into simpler, and just made
Played
an
around with it,
arpeggio
basically.
out of it. Yeah, it's his voice. I'm pretty sure.
That
So
sounds cool.
and as you can see here, I just used a really simple slicing method. Yeah, this is it. Because this is rhythmically so distinctive. So it has like nice transients. I think I might have moved. Can I put this bigger? No, I can't. So I think I moved these warp markers around a bit to get the right attack to the stuff, which is like really great with the slice method as well. So you can have the slice algorithm doing. You kind of get the right sensitivity here. At the moment it's 100%. It can be less, so there's like less notes here. But at first it just has like some weird markers as well with like melodic material. So it's it works the same as in clip view. You just double click on things and it disappears. And I think this isn't warped, so I can't add it myself. But in the second, no, I still can add, of course. With the double click, you can add like a slice here, and it adds like an additional voice. So yeah, I found it to be the most simple way, and if I want, I can add some macros as well. When I get bored of the same sound playing live, I can, like in the simpler, you have to filter automations, whatever, LFOs and stuff you can mess around with as well. And the trick I found really cool to do was that how to get like different sounds under the same track. So if I have like, it's good for lead sounds, for example. You have two tracks in a proper live set. You have at least 6 tracks, I think, like if they're long enough. And you don't want to have like a group and then like 6 additional tracks because it gets messy around. You already have like the guitar and the music, which is like the I'll talk about it later. So what I found out, I could just make an instrument rack and add like different sounds here, and with the macro controls I made it like this, so I can, with one knob I can go from this to so.
Yeah, it's cool. So you can literally manipulate a sound with one knob and just twist it a little bit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just like...
And actually, there's like an option if you want to get really messy with it. I don't know how to do it at the moment, but actually you can crossfade the sounds too.
Yes.
So you can have like layers and new stuff.
Yeah, there's like Ableton is like, in my opinion, the best DAW to manipulate the sound. You can do so much different things with it.
Absolutely, because like what I love about Ableton so much, one thing is like the session we were having the clips at different lengths. That's like a really good option.
Yeah.
Nowadays, of course, like lots of DAWs kind of imitate the same structure. I haven't tried them, but I just like how this works. And also the way the instrument tracks and audio effect tracks and the macros work. So it's kind of like a modular instrument.
Yeah,
so you can do some really crazy routing layer, and it's quite like in the design, like the visual side, everything is so like simple. So you can really once you get to know the like the basic and a bit more advanced rules of this program. You can like really build your own instruments and like go crazy with the sound design. So the routing capabilities are like awesome here. And as for the other tracks, this is really basic actually. So I'll just have to stop everything. So we have the, or we don't. It tries to record something. So this is the top loop. Just a beat without the kick. Yeah. Then there's the synth stuff. All the synths in one track.
Yeah.
There's of course the kick, just a kick. So you can, you know, with the do stuff like that, just to get the foundation of the beat muted for a while. That's the bass. And that's that's like the really cool part with I'm doing hybrid technique at the moment, a bit in the computer, a bit in the push, but what's cool is you can have like somehow it doesn't multiple solo it at the moment, but anyway, you can have like this kind of things. It's like, and if there you can do it really fast in the push, so that's like the things arrangement wise, these happy accidents you might find, like maybe there's like a rainier or grayer day in my life, and then I like this darker version of this track. I can just do like a more, I don't know, darker techno-ish version of the same track.
That's cool.
And so, and then just thanks to these two buttons. And yeah, and then there's the like the transitions group. FX is my last one, which this I don't automate at all at the moment. It's like some risers are, you know, impacts, like they're doing their stuff anyway. So
exactly.
So you don't need them. Some extra guitar that I didn't bother to play. And the transitions group is interesting. This is something I learned from YouTube, from this artist called Ben Burmer. He's like quite a big guy in the melodic house and techno scene, and there's actually a really good video of him explaining his live set. So I got really good ideas from his video. The plugin that I used to follow Scenic XL was the same thing he used. Now there's like Ableton has its own follow actions, which is cool. But he had like this transitions group between tracks, which is like, so it's like the same tracks from the previous track, a bit affected and looped. So you come from this part. Here I jammed around with the guitar a bit, just give this, and now it should hopefully go to the transition someday after 6 bars now. So it's like you don't have to, it's like a DJ mix, you don't have to stop the track, but you want to go to the next one still somehow naturally. It loops for some reason. Yeah, that's the new follow actions. I haven't mastered it yet. Anyway, it goes automatically here. And I already have, this was muted, but actually it works. It's really quiet. I'll just boost it a bit. The pad from the next track is already playing. Then there's also the intro kick from the next track. So we already have the vibe of the next track being played underneath. Which is cool is these 2 tracks are actually in different keys, and they don't fit actually melodically. They don't fit together so well. But
are they different in BPM as well?
Yeah, exactly. There, one is the Moonstruck is 122, and the next one, my next single, Place Beyond the Pines. This one is in tempo of 118.
Cool.
So this is new in Ableton 11. So you can have really easily have these tempo markers in the scenes. So we came from here. Actually from here. So this is the old tempo, 122. So normally, like, if we would have the same material, we have the thing how it works is like we have the new track at a faster BPM, but now we go here. It doesn't, you know, if we had the delay tails and stuff, you don't hear the tempo difference so much. So that is definitely a thing.
It's cool that you can actually do in like in the session view. It's like kind of like a DJ mix to another song.
Yeah.
And you can do that with this.
Yeah, sure you can like sure you can try it in the arrangement view, but in arrangement view to have like this kind of tempo automations, that is quite inconvenient. It's convenient when you have the same structure, like everything happens like it's supposed to. But if you want to have some freedom, then you can't just add like bars during the track to the project. So that means if you just looped one part a bit longer, then the tempo automation from the master track, it comes in at the wrong time. So it doesn't just work.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's why, this session view tempo automation works really well, and all this automation will be recorded in the not in track volume, but song tempo as well. At the moment it's disabled, but yeah. So that's kind of how it works.
Do you like how to say when you started out? Like, where did you get your main information from? Like when you started out, was your YouTube your like go-to place to get like how to say like the beginner stuff?
Yeah, I spent lots of time in internet watching stuff. With the live set, again, it was YouTube. As I said, the tutorial video of Ben Böhmer, that was really informational for me, because the way he plays music is really similar to me, because he isn't a DJ background musician, so he wanted to have this freedom to play, and so I found out, okay, I want to do something like this, but with my like guitar things and a bit more improvisation maybe with these melodic parts. Everything is kind of on YouTube at the moment, so you can just watch you can just watch how the artists you like perform live, and again, like in the Ableton's own official channel, there's like lots of musicians doing. So it's amazing how inspiration it might be if you know where to find the right information on the channels. So if you can need some inspiration, you can just check your favorite channel, look up like a 6-minute video of somebody doing something interesting in Ableton. So there's like tons of creative ways, like really simple, the impulse response, like the hybrid reverb. So you can just put random sounds in the reverb to give the sound an extra texture, so it's not like reverb, all this kind of stuff. So it kind of opens your creativity too. So you can really see how inspirational Ableton can be.
I feel like watching, another thing that I really learned a lot was watching live streams from like other people doing their like projects and stuff like that, and like seeing the creative process from different people, and how people like literally what we're doing basically right now. They're like breaking down their stuff and like how to say, how they mix their mid-range or stuff like that.
Yeah.
At the first I was like, this is literally like, how to say, a foreign language to me. Like, this is really hard to get into, but once you, how to say, get the basics right, then the more, how to say, interesting gets watching the people, like other people's work ethic and stuff like that, how they work with the same DAW, for example, and it's like really inspiring for me at least.
Yeah, exactly. Like as they say, like there's no point in reinventing the wheel.
Exactly.
And so there's like lots of like knowledge people, like this culture is like really rich and thriving at the moment. You can learn from other people who are willing to share. You can learn from them. And what's important is you create your own style, and then somebody can learn from you. So that's how it works. And live streams are a really good source as well. There's like guys on Disclosure and like really big guys, Ian Kirkpatrick, like a big pop producer.
Ian is amazing.
Yeah, he's a funny guy too. It's like if you take your time, they're like really long, but you can actually get some really cool stuff from them. And actually, I think earlier I just like watched these videos, but now I kind of went into the habit of like really the habit that I think I had in school. All of us, I think, had just writing stuff down, you know. And so I have like this like video of someone treating maybe a mid-range or something, doing something interesting. Then I just open the notes and just if he has a like interesting point, I write it down, so it kind of processes through you as well. So that's what I think is really important in like learning stuff like that, is not just like passively watching, just writing it down. And what's even best is like, maybe you don't need to watch like hours of videos, just like watch one and try to apply it immediately.
That was like one of my biggest mistakes, I think, at the beginning stage. I just watched loads of videos, and then like maybe 15% of the information actually got to me.
Yeah.
So now, like, especially with Live 11, when the new stuff came out, I literally wrote down the updates that really impacted my production, and I felt like I wanted to use later as well. So I always have like a note with me that I know I can try out now and stuff like that. So it's literally like you're in school, basically.
Yeah, we are always at school, basically, indeed. So yeah, and also with these like new techniques, it's also a way to learn them better is to make limitations. Like, okay, I'm gonna start a new track, I'm only using sounds from maybe this Ableton's new sound pack. I'm just messing around, trying to find something inspiring, what can I really do with things. Or maybe like using a technique I saw a guy use in the YouTube video. So that's how you really get the skill. So otherwise, yeah, it might end up just like watching TV. It's like you kind of
Exactly.
doze off and oh, that's cool, and oh yeah, that sounds really cool. And then hours later, you open your own project and you're at the same place again. It's like, huh.
Yeah, exactly. I get you. But yeah,
So yeah,
internet is a blessing
it is. It is.
for this type of stuff. What are we gonna do next?
So I guess we could just have a little jam, try to sketch up an idea
Alright, cool.
really fast, see how quickly we can do it in the session view. So I actually have a little guitar lick
Alright, cool.
we can jam upon. It's quite simple, but it's good for the jam. Simple. So what I'm gonna do is I have like guitar 1 track here.
Yeah.
Just gonna arm it. We have the audio coming through. It's not peaking, which is also nice. You should always not peak your input level. It's actually a bit quiet. Yeah, okay. So I'll just record that loop and start from here.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I can do it like here, as you see live already. Looped it from the right place. I can add another melody idea that I have, and we can actually try the recording in the push to view, which is as you've done not so much in session view with push. I can show you that if you have the fixed length on, you can really easily
set the bar, yeah.
Set the bar, yeah. So let's say we want an 8-bar loop. Just when the fixed length is blinking, then it will automatically start looping the track, so you don't have to push anything yourself.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's guitar 2. Yeah. So we can try it. So that's how you can do it really easily.
So it just loops itself with the fixed length, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you don't have to go too much
Yeah.
pausing and stopping your track. You get like the vibe going. Yeah, I'll try something additional with the same fixed length style. Actually, I'm gonna put the fixed length a bit longer, 16 bars. I'm just gonna jam a bit.
Alright, cool.
So I have more freedom. So
That was nice.
So you can have a like longer loop playing, and actually if you only liked some part of it, you can always go to the push to clip view. So actually it shows you the same controls you have in the clip view in Ableton itself. So you can do like whatever. You want the loop position to be, no, maybe you just want the last 8 bars. So it's without going into the computer. You can also have some really like this kind.
Oh, so you pitch it an octave?
Yeah, you can pitch it really easily. And with this you can just meddle around with it. You have like possibilities here. So what we can do next is maybe try some vocals ideas.
All right, cool.
I'm a good person. I already prepared some tracks for you. So,
Sick.
yeah, that's really sick. So
I think it's easier for me to do melodies with just the guitar one on.
oh yeah, for sure.
I think
Which
it's
is really easy, as we can see in the session view. Again, in the push, we can just actually just pressing this should mute, stop them, and it stopped. So
nice.
so I guess.
Yeah. Am I coming through?
You are. As we're not using headphones, I guess it's better if you don't get the feedback at the moment. Put Q volume down a bit. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Tell me that you
yeah. Okay, I was a bit late with the switching it out, but anyway, again we gotta.
We have the metronome feedback on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, if we would do it properly, it would be, of course, with the headphones, and so again we can choose. Do you want second line or first, whatever? We just use the. Okay.
I think the first part is cleaner.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, you want to try some backing
I can
vocals?
try. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So let's use that clip view option that we have on the push to. Let's try it like you add some additional layers in the one long take, and then we just cut them up here and move them around the tracks.
All right.
Yeah.
Should I harmonize the same thing that I just did, or should I do something else?
You can harmonize the same thing.
All right.
Yeah, and we can just put the metronome out now, I guess.
Yeah.
You can hear the stuff anyway. So, yeah, here we go.
Is it going?
Yeah.
I'll do one. I don't know what to add more.
Octave?
All right, I'll do it. Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, just put the guitar away. Yeah, what we can do now is if we want to have the same clips, not the clips, but take phrases from the same clip on different tracks. And we could just use this function to just copy paste it. So now it's just selecting the length.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's sorry. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, we're doing it correctly. So here, I think it was somewhere from here.
I think I need to do the third harmonics again, because they sound a bit off in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
We can work on it later.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can actually just solo them too.
Is it going?
Okay.
Is it going?
We can already automate it out. Let's do it.
Is it going? Is it going?
Oh, it wasn't the right clip.
I think it's that one. Yeah, that you just selected. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah.
I'm talking in every single clip.
Yeah, that's your thing. You like to talk, but it's okay. We can get rid of it. Yeah.
Every single clip has something.
Some spoken word.
Yes.
You thought the third harmonic as?
I don't know if this goes or not.
Oh yeah, maybe it should have gone up.
Or maybe.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's take the talking out before.
Yeah. It works, but does it work with the guitar though?
Yeah.
That's kinda.
Kinda. It's really artsy.
Yeah.
Let's go with artsy today. Okay, let's say that's like some backing vocals chant kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. We can do some drums. Something from the Ableton's packs. I think it was Beat Tools. Anyways, just something to get going with some vinyl preset. It's nice and clean without it, but just
That's a lot of character.
yeah, maybe too much, but anyway.
We're doing artsy today, so.
Yeah, we're doing artsy, and you can always like pull the effect down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next morning.
The next one.
Yeah, we can try that. But I think I'll solo this thing. Yeah. Oh, it does not record. Okay, that was a really sloppy take, but let's see if it can quantize it.
Yep.
Thank God for the quantize.
It works.
Yeah.
I love quantizing.
Yeah.
It saves my production every day.
Yeah, you can always add some swing or something
Yeah.
if you'd like doing something in house
Yeah.
music or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And what's cool about Ableton or this doing automating stuff in Push. It's also the way you can automate the macro controls that you have here on the screen, like if you have like Ableton drum preset and there's like somebody's done the work for you, you get some effects here. Like stuff like this. So now the automation just keeps looping. You can have actually kind of assign your whatever parameters on your synth or FX channels that you like on here, and just have like a whole automating session. That's actually the automation throughout the if you have longer track, the way you like make this little automation is really important to the dynamics of the music.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I have some sounds here as well. It's like some silly percussion, but I always really like this, like the C78. It's like really old school drum machines that are like more like toy drum machines,
yeah.
like this. It's like more funny sound than something else. 2 bars. Okay. If I would have been clever, I would have put the fixed length on, of course, which I didn't. Let's hear them with beat. Yeah, they could use some quantizing. And actually, like we have a MIDI clip, we can also always, if we want to add some swing, we can do it in the Ableton grooves. So we have I don't even know, I'm always done house beats with these swings, but let's see what happens when I put this. Oh, that's like a drunken drummer. Okay. Anyway, you can find your swing that you really like.
I haven't used swing on house music, but I've used swing loads on hip hop.
Used?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, this might work. The velocity, we don't have to have the velocity affected this much. We can have it a bit.
Yeah.
And actually, well, if I play push there, it's like velocity sensitive, then of course there is already some dynamics here, but adding this like extra velocity from the groove helps you in sometimes to get that extra feel. And what's like important if you have like drums is to use the same swing. So so they have like the same.
That's hard.
That's a two-step. Yeah. So. What we can try is to make something interesting out of your voice. Try to kind of make like a new instrument or something. We can try.
Alright, I'm gonna sing the root note, I think.
Yeah.
So you can, it's easy.
Thank you for being so helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the master quieter so we can get more.
Ba, a, e, I, o, u.
So
you can choose now which one you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as I asked you to please do some vocals. So you literally did some vocals on the track. Yeah. Okay, now we have actually more than I initially wanted, which isn't a bad thing. We can now actually do new MIDI track, drop it here. Drop it here and maybe use the slice function. Let's see where. We can try to use the repeat function as well. So. Yeah, feels like writing music for like children's educational.
We're going artsy today, so.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Oh yeah, cool.
I should have done it like A, E, I, so you would have like the, you know, the chord.
You wanna do that?
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's how we get the sound. That's a weird thing to do.
A, E, I.
Is it too hard?
I didn't want to do the higher octave because I maybe didn't like. Maybe my voice isn't that high.
Okay.
Oh, well, I didn't actually get it, but like, yeah. I think we got it.
Yeah. Come on, go here. So, of course, now we have only 3 samples.
But they're in a different like note, so. The at first isn't in key. Maybe you can.
I can just put the auto-tune on really quickly. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Nice. Which key? We were in
G.
A minor.
Is it A minor?
Yeah. Somehow
It's so wrong that even auto-tune gang can't get it.
no, it should get somehow. It gets we're on the wait. Okay, whatever. I think it was a cool experiment, but
Yeah, let it be.
I'm gonna try the
The other
previous one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, and with the slice thing, it's always fun to I don't know, add some random markers
Yeah.
here as well. I had to warp it before. Yeah, so it's good to add some random
Slices?
random slices, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, let's.
Music making should be always fun. That's what we're doing.
Oh, that's
I think we've discovered a new genre.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Weird things happen.
But we're doing artsy today, so.
This is arts. Yeah. Actually, goofing around gets you to some interesting places.
The happy accidents happen in my opinion.
So if you're making music with someone who's taking it too seriously, you know, it's like, oh, that's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
Then you might not stumble.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
this might be something cool.
Yeah,
We don't know
yeah,
yet. It
yeah.
doesn't matter because we're making music
Yeah,
just for us.
exactly.
That's so weird. That's so weird. Still, it's really weird. Anyway, we can try some really cool new effects, which I've briefly tried out. It was.
Maybe we can try the hybrid reverb. Or what did you have in your mind?
Yeah, hybrid maybe after, but the pitch and modulation with.
Phaser flanger, you mean?
Oh man, I just forgot the name. Spectral, yeah, spectral resonator was the one I wanted.
Yeah, it was there.
That's something gutter. Oh yeah. So we could go even more freaky. I actually have an idea with this. So actually we already are from the vocal, from the silly vocal stuff, where something that doesn't sound like a vocal anymore,
Yeah.
and you can messing around with the.
Is that the granular?
That's
option?
the granular,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so sick. You can do so cool things with it.
Yeah. Anyway, we can do the. That's more like a synth now.
It sounds like a vintage Moog synth. Moog.
Yeah.
Or a Korg.
I'm just gonna try. Does
That's a Reezy bass. It's pretty cool,
So,
actually.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
The way you can, like, it's amazing how live has done like these like sound manipulation, new like things like spectral resonator,
Yeah.
for example. Like we just did like the silliest thing ever, and
Yeah.
now this sounds pretty cool already.
Yeah, exactly. If we change, like, put some really good drums on it, it's like a.
Yeah.
It's like I would be when I heard this, I was like, would be like.
Oh, this is Elderbrook, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Like where did this sound come from? What VST is it? But it's not actually. You don't need. You
Yeah.
actually need some random voice or like
Yeah.
sound input, and you can really make your own stuff with it. And actually, with this, we would use like. What's cool with this one, a function. Is that you can really have to do MIDI and use the sidechain, so you can do like stuff like this. Oh shit! I'm on the wrong track, of course. It should. I'm just gonna draw something here. Actually, easier way is to just do it like this.
I think you need to link it from here as well, where it's like the no output shows.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Isn't it the 5th?
Yeah.
You linked on the wrong.
Or maybe it needs a synthesizer or something. We can try.
You linked it on the wrong one right now.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry, I lost it. You can. Yeah, you. Where was the place we switched it?
Maybe we should undo.
Oh yeah. Let's
Just
undo.
command undo.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the 5th one. Yeah. Oh, it still doesn't work. I know. I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and it worked before. Actually, the MIDI is coming in, so. Anyway, whatever. Okay, let that be. We already got a cool sound. So yeah, and coming up with this kind of things, it's really cool. For example, with the guitar, just to briefly show you the same thing I like to do sometimes to find out. Yeah. Like you can have like a whole new riff. It's like oh. Like something like this. And again the repeat function.
In my opinion, it's like one of the coolest ways to do ambient sounds. You put it on repeat and like a high verb on it.
Oh
and
yeah.
it's like really cool. It can like spread out and stuff like that. So
yeah, you can do like this, whatever. That's really weird sound. But again, you can, you know, resample it, for example. Yeah. And maybe some filter. It's yeah.
you can do.
Yeah,
there's
tons.
unlimited ways to do stuff.
Tons of stuff.
So yeah.
I kind of, I think the sound we had here was, anyway, it was really somewhere. Oh my god, it got messy here.
That happens to 80% of my
Yeah.
projects. Sometimes I just can't find stuff anymore. Yeah, it's that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have something.
Something whole different from what we
Yeah.
had first.
Blues ambient, something,
Yes.
which was before, it was just a jam. So it's
That's how
Whatever.
you can do stuff.
Yeah.
Easily.
just metal around.
So yeah, I hope you guys liked what we showed you in this 90-minute webinar.
Yeah.
I hope that you took some tips and tricks.
Yeah, and there's actually Q&A following, so ask us anything that's that you might be interested in, or you know, share some tips of yourself. Yeah, thanks.